Hello, everyone.
What's up, everyone?
Well, wake up. It's happy Sunday, everyone. Don't have too much fun there, right? Welcome, everyone. This is going to be a live stream to cover last Pinhoti Fest at 2023 at Noble Park in Sylacauga, Alabama. We're just kind of getting together for today's episode to kind of walk through some of the events that happened at the event and reasons for why you should go to next year's event, because I think they already have next year's event on the books. Right, guys?
That's right.
Yeah,
They're already last weekend of September.
Yeah. So to kick things off, obviously I want to talk about your first thoughts and feedback, but did you guys see that Hobo Joe bouncing around Pinhoti Fest?
Who is Hobo Joe?
Well, word on the street is that he's this ghetto Billy that lives in the city, and he commonly goes out to the trails and so forth. But the reason why he was there is he actually put up signs all over Pinhoti Fest looking for Backpacker Bob, because we didn't see him there. Right?
Yeah, Backpacker Bob was not there, but Hobo Joe was there looking for Bob.
Right. He had signs put up everywhere all over Pinhoti Fest. But anyway, if you see this guy, I had a chance to talk to him just for a minute, but this was full of pro tips. So if you get a chance to meet Hobo Joe, all he's going to do is just tell you everything he knows about living on the trail and in the city. So make sure you keep an eye out for him. I know that he was looking for Backpacker Bob, but hopefully soon we can get those two together. Hopefully he finds Backpacker Bob so we can bring him back to next year's Pinhoti Fest. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, sounds good to me. We
need Hobo Joe and Backpacker Bob together.
Yeah, Hobo Joe told me he was only there for the free Chick-fil-A.
Thank God that Chick-fil-A was there. There was quite a few hungry hikers there on Saturday morning, was there not?
Very much. That line got really long.
Yeah, it got very long, but thank you to Chick-fil-A for sponsoring this year's event. In fact, we ended up getting a free Chick-fil-A biscuit and some fruit to go along with it. And then Cup of Grace was there as well, serving up some coffee. So we had some really nice local coffee, and then also some Chick-fil-A. I think it was a really good start to the second day at Pinhoti Fest.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A was a great addition.
Yeah, and Cup of Grace, I was going to give them a shout out because that is the elixir of life.
And if they weren't there, we would have been in trouble because there was a lot of hikers there that were looking for that Cup of Joe first thing in the morning.
That's right.
So before we get started, I want to give a shout out to everyone that's in the live stream here. 12 Stones Adventures, Tangent Trails, what's going on? James King, Jacob, how are you, my friend? We also have J Mash. Good to see you all tonight on today's episode. Again, today's episode is really all about just going through what we thought about Pinhoti Fest, but also covering some of the events. If you didn't have a chance to check it out, that we'll go through some of the vendors, some of the music, the food that was there, also some of the highlights. Graybeard was a great speaker. I don't know how many were there from this year's event, but that guy's story is very, very powerful. In fact, I heard that he's also going to attempt the AT in a couple years to become, yet again, the oldest man to hike the AT. What do you guys think about that?
His story and what he wants to do and how he wants to do it and his reasoning for it is pretty amazing stuff. I can only hope that I'm as spry as he is at that age.
Yeah, he was very approachable. His story was very compelling. Obviously he has the world record for paddling the entire Mississippi. For those that don't know who Graybeard is, the oldest man to do so. But he had previously had the title as the oldest man to hike the Appalachian Trail. And then Nimble Will Nomad comes along and takes the title right away from him. Graybeard was happy about it, but then you could see the passion in his eyes. He's like, no, I'm going back. I'm going to get that title. It's for me. He was so on fire to hear his story, but when he was talking about his name being in the Guinness World Book of Records, that was just awesome. Again, 90 years old to be just killing it like that.
Yeah, he had some great stories about being on the Mississippi River in a kayak and how the water levels fluctuate. I was blown away by that. That was pretty cool.
So I'll tell you another story that really is compelling to me. Is Senior Hiker 77. I mean, we've been hiking now for almost 3 years on the PMT and going all over the country and so forth. But appreciate you for making out to Pinhoti Fest, and I just want to get your first thoughts. You came in Saturday, you walking into the event. What was your first thoughts of what you saw?
A big improvement from last year.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I think I talked to J-Ben about this, but Kevin was with me, Atypical Hiker. We came in together. But I think they need to have a water station.
Yeah.
We was constantly looking for water the whole time, cold water.
Mm-hmm.
And I think J-Ben talked to somebody that was on the board, and they thought next year they would have a station. They could sell. You buy these from Costco somewhere. You can easily sell them for $2 with a donation to whatever you want it to go to. But cold water was an issue. I felt like we was always looking for water.
Well, there was a Sawyer station set up. There was a Sawyer station set up. So
yeah, but it tastes like hose. That water. It was.
So I grew up in the 80s. It was a good thing for me. But next year, talking about the water though, you can obviously set up a little stand next to us, and have your water there, and you'll fulfill the need. We'll have some ice cold water right there at the event. But walking through the event, it was nice to see all the different vendors that were there. In fact, Squidly, I think that you wanted to give a shout out to a couple of the vendors that you stopped in. Any specific highlights you want to share with us?
Yeah. Well, first of all, so many vendors for just a second year for this, but there were a couple of big name vendors that came this year for the first time, and I think they came after that first year success that they were waiting for that success to see how it's going to go, and then they came on. But it was Sawyer, and I thought the booth they had set up was top notch. The person they had there was really energetic and well informed about Sawyer, and not just the product, but what Sawyer is doing in a lot of places in the world where they don't have dependable clean water.
Right.
And they're doing a lot of work, and I hate to call it like this, but just in third world poverty situations where they're providing Sawyers so that families can have clean, dependable, clean water.
Is it like the Tom's model where it's like you buy one, they get one? Is it like that model? I didn't hear that much detail, but I do know they contribute a lot to water purification. They dig wells too, I believe, and obviously get access. I believe.
Yeah.
I don't want to misspeak on that.
Well, I think you're right.
Is it a buy one get one kind of situation?
I'm not sure what the model is. I just know that I specifically heard her talking about how there were people in Honduras, and there was one other place that she mentioned specifically where people have had the same Sawyer for 10 years, and they want now to go and test those Sawyers and make sure that they're still doing for filtering the water what they claim that it does, to make sure that after 10 years it's still working. And I think that's a big testimony, not just to the quality of their product, but also what they're doing. I started to say in the community, but really it's the world community, what they're doing for clean water.
And Terry, looking at your first thoughts and feedback on Pinhoti Fest, what's something that you want to share with the group in terms of your immediate feedback from the past couple of days that you spent at Pinhoti Fest?
Well, I just enjoyed getting to talk to everybody, all the hikers that came out to say hello, come by the Pinhoti Mafia tent. As far as vendors go, I'm with Squid on Sawyer. I thought that was a really, really good tent that she had set up, and she was had a lot of good information on Sawyer. And to that point, Dan Becker did a really good video on what Sawyer's doing around the world. I guess it was about maybe 4 or 5 months ago. So if you go dig back through his videos, he did and it's probably 20, 30 minutes long. It's pretty long, but it's a great video on the impact Sawyer's making around the world. But another vendor I want to give a shout out to is Nashville Pack. We went over and spent a little time at Nashville Pack at their booth, and he showed us some of their new backpacks they've got coming out, and they're on the cutting edge. I thought it was really cool. Etowah Gear was there again. They had some great tarps, packs, stuff like that. So getting a lot of really good vendors coming in. Hopefully next year we can bring in a few more.
Well, I tell you, one of my favorite vendors that I picked up some candy at was Gary's Freeze Dried Treats. I had a chance to get some it was like freeze dried Skittles, as well as freeze dried like gummy nerd clusters. I think Squidly, you had Jolly Ranchers, or was that Fireball that had those?
It had to have been Fireball because I can't have that stuff.
Oh man, you remember? I tell you
A
what,
big
that
old
would have
bag
been
of
a bad
sugar?
day
No.
for Squidly. Then I got yeah, because it was pretty sugary. It was good though.
Yeah.
Well, did you give away?
Shout
They
out
have
to the
a-
snow cones also. The snow cones.
Oh yeah, yeah. The snow cones were great. It was I actually had the WTF Pinhoti edition special. I think I have a video we can go through and like kind of go through all that. But again, I want to shout out to all the vendors that did participate in this year's Pinhoti Fest. If you guys are thinking about coming next year, obviously this is just a taste of what's coming for next year. But again, if you're looking for gear, Nashville packs, Etowah gear, those were some awesome. Jolly Gear was there. Lots of great gear. If you haven't had a chance to check them out, make sure you check out their sites. But again, I felt like the food was good. The vendors were good. The music was great. The Whistle Bees was my favorite. It was a string band. Love that. It was a great time. They had an awesome stage. It was a great time.
The stage was great.
Light Heart Gear was there this year.
Oh, I didn't get a chance to see. Oh yeah, Light
Yeah,
Heart
they were
Gear was
right next to the
right
Pinhoti
next to
Mafia tent.
They wasn't there last. I don't think they were there last year. They was at the Appalachian kickoff though. He was present there.
So look, we got a little suggestion here though. Next time it looks like we gotta get some milk duds, freeze dried. I gotta try that out.
Oh,
I tell you, they were so good. I was on such a sugar rush. So anyway, what I want to do here is kind of pull up the video, and maybe we can just talk about some of those moments and some of the conversations that we had. But again, big shout out to all the vendors. Thank you for participating in the event. If you guys were not there, obviously we would not be able to have this event. Thank you to Nathan and Kim for putting this entire event together. Obviously, you guys are doing such a great job with this event, and obviously running the Pinhoti Outdoor Center. We're big fans, as you guys know. If you don't already know, the Pinhoti Mafia or the Alabama Triple Crown stops in at the Pinhoti Outdoor Center every year when we conduct the Alabama Triple Crown. I don't know if everyone knows what the Alabama Triple Crown is by this point, but if not, it is 3 trails, 3 days, 3 different locations. It's going to be about 60 miles in total. Crow, as the Crow Flies Hiking, was the founder of this 3-day event. Again, if you want to find out more information about that, all you have to do is simply type in hashtag Alabama Triple Crown, or you can also go to hikersofamerica.com, which has all of this information specific to the Pinhoti Outdoor Center, Pinhoti Fest, as well as the Alabama Triple Crown. Great resources if you're looking for more information on these events. Make sure you check that out. But also on Hikers of America, I do want to mention that this is a great resource if you're looking for additional backpacking channels to follow. On there, there's going to be obviously these guys. You obviously don't need to check out their channels if you haven't already. That's weird. But anyway, there's lots of other channels that you could check out that are listed there. Make sure you check them out if you're looking for adventures throughout the Southeast and beyond. That's what Hikers of America is all about. It's all about sharing is caring, and obviously the wealth of knowledge that comes down the pike. But you know what? Speaking of a wealth of knowledge, recently, I don't know if you can see behind me or not. I worked with Hilltop Packs, Ben McMillan over there at Hilltop Packs, and he helped create this ground sheet, which I call the hobo. But there's been a lot of different names that have been kicked around on a recent live stream. I've been hearing a little bit about the Squidly. Can you tell us some of the names that they're calling this new custom footprint? As you can see behind me, it makes a good backdrop, but I think you heard a couple other names for it.
I did, and just on this, Ben McMillan himself said that he did not like the current name for it, which was I don't even remember now what it was. It's so not memorable, but he said he didn't like it. He wanted to do something different. Well, the people in the chat started coming up with all kind of different names, and of course you got credit for kind of promoting the idea of it. And I know you may have another story with that, but because of that, they started calling it the Metro Mat. which
The Metro mat.
the Metro mat, which they thought that was kind of cool. And then there were a couple of more bear names. They called it the bear napkin. And I think that's the one that got the most traction. The idea there is, after a bear comes into camp and eats you, that's the napkin, so he can, wipe up a little bit, clean himself up before he goes on about his business.
I like the bear napkin. That's actually sticking with me a little bit. No pun intended, right?
Yeah, right.
There's the man, the myth, the legend.
So
There he
again,
is.
Tiger back to Pinhoti Fest. Again, there were some strange characters at the event. We did not see Backpacker Bob, but Hobo Joe was there putting up signs trying to find Backpacker Bob. And this is what he had to
Hobo
say.
Joe here, about to head into Pinhoti.
Went green there. I don't know what happened. Let me reload this. That was crazy.
Do you think Hobo Joe and Backpacker Bob are somehow related, maybe?
He didn't really say. He said he had a wealth of knowledge that he wanted to share with us, but he didn't say exactly what it was about. He said that, it was about the Pinhoti Trail, but mainly it was about his tips and tricks from living in the city himself. He wanted to share with Backpacker Bob because Backpacker Bob is on the run, right?
Yeah, he's on the run. Last I heard is potentially 2 different places he could be that he was last seen. One is the Skinwalker Ranch, and the other one was in the dumpster behind Taco Bell. So between those 2 places, and there's a lot of gap between those 2 places, so there is no telling where Backpacker Bob is.
Is it just me, or does Hobo Joe kind of look like the lead singer of ZZ Top?
Yeah, it does look like that group. ZZ Top.
Well, let me go ahead and pull up the video if I can get it to work. I had a green screen there for a second. I don't know what's going on. My computer is freaking out. But speaking of computers, obviously I've upgraded my backdrop here. If you guys like the new look and feel of the live stream, put a comment down below. It was something I've been working on, man. The last live stream, Senior Hiker kind of dug into me. He's like, dude, you got to get it together, man. Like, you are the MC. You can't be having computer problems. Your lighting looked like you had a flip phone. Like he said, you got a razor? Is that how you live stream? I was like, dang, that's harsh. But Senior, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you said to me the other day in terms of I need to watch a video?
Well, actually, I don't have I watch a video. I know Andy well enough. When I watch a video, I don't watch TV anymore. It's usually a YouTube. But when I come across something that's constructive, that I like to pass on to Andy, I'll only pass on what I know, the things he's interested in. And the lighting was one. And of course, we all want to improve on our videos. So I pass on that kind of information. But anyway, I see he did it up right there now. He's got it working.
He's been giving me.
But it's not none of my. It's all through somebody else that he watches, not me. I just recommend a video to watch.
So it's pretty funny stuff there. But so let's go ahead and get back to the video here. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. Let me go ahead and get this up here. Hobo Joe walking through the city. All right. Maybe it might be a little bit more crowded. Let me know when you guys can see it on your side.
Well, I'll tell you one more thing that I appreciated, Andy being the MC. I think that was
he did a great job.
a great job on that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Hobo Joe was making his way inside of
Pinhoti Fest. Signed up. Going to share a wealth of knowledge here. Pinhoti Fest. 20 years of knowledge up in my head. Pro tip.
Well, the first thing I want to say is that when you first walked into Pinhoti Fest, they had such a great spread. Like, it was obviously you could register right away because there was a lot of giveaways. That was one of the main things I wanted to mention right off the bat was the giveaways were incredible. There were so many vendors, but all of the giveaways that they had given, all you had to do was register and you got a number. And throughout the day, they were calling out all kinds of numbers. Yes, I was calling out some of the numbers, but there was some really big giveaways, especially towards the end. That was just incredible. What do you guys think about that?
I didn't win anything.
Somebody at the very end won was like $1,500 worth of gear. I was like, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, so the vendors not only showed up, but they ponied up stuff to give away. I mean, it was pretty incredible. I'm
Absolutely.
gonna have to go ahead and
Yeah.
say,
Really was.
So I was glad I got a chance to fly the drone around though and get some little drone footage. But again, as you walked in, go to the Pinhoti Outdoor Center here, Tent City. That was incredible. Camped out 2 days.
Well, I'll tell you what, before we stop right there, Andy.
Gotcha.
All right, Tent City. I'm never going to sleep in that park again. When I
Why is
when I
that?
got up Sunday,
Why?
because it was I slept in a cloud. I never had so much
That sounds
condensation
heavenly. That sounds heavenly.
inside my tent and outside my tent. I had a 2.5 pound tent that turned into 6.5 pound tent that morning. It was crazy sleeping
I
in
will
a cloud.
say, Senior, the wealth of knowledge pro tip, if you're going to sleep in the field, there's going to be a little bit of condensation in the morning. That's
Well,
just the way it goes.
Well, next year I'm bringing my car tent,
Okay.
and I'm not going in that park.
Well, I had a good time. I slept pretty well. There was no train this year. I didn't get woke up by the train. I didn't hear that at all. So it was a nice.
Well, yeah, the condensation didn't bother me, but when I got up the next morning, it was unbelievable. I never had that much, never, inside and outside.
Well, speaking of upgrades for this year too, the stage was incredible. Last year they had like a trailer pulled behind it, and this year they had a full-on stage. The sound was great. It was fun to get up there and do the announcements. It was a great stage. It sounded great. All the speakers sounded really well. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, it all sounded really good. And I knew coming into it that there was going to be a big upgrade in the sound system and what the stage was going to be like. But when I got there, I was pretty blown away by what they put together, and I know they had professional sound people come in and get it all set up, and just can't say enough about the MC. That MC. Not sure who that guy was, but he was incredible. Had real stage presence and had a real voice for being on stage and speaking.
Nathan did a great job. Nathan did an incredible job. That's right. And Nathan
and Nathan did too. He did a good job too.
Come on now. I was just glad to help out. There was a lot going on, so I was just bouncing back and forth, just trying to help out as much as I could. But yeah, I think on stage right now, if you look close enough, I believe that is Nathan himself speaking. So I was flying the drone, and Nathan was talking, and then I would get out, fly the drone down, then I'd get up on stage, and it was kind of like everyone was just kind of doing circles the entire event, just staying busy. So
the stage looked like a full-on music festival.
That's what I'm saying. We were totally spoiled. That was this awesome event. And you had all.
I'll tell you, one of the things about it was the timing of everything. It just seemed like there were no gaps in stuff going on with the stage. Either there was music going on, or there were announcements, or there were giveaways. There was always something happening. I just thought the timing and the way it was conducted was just top notch.
There's Hank.
So I don't know if you heard this story, but Hank, the hiking hound, was actually the very first dog to ever complete the Alabama Triple Crown. So we got a chance to talk to the owner, and hear a little bit about, obviously the story that he shared with us, because the dog couldn't speak in his own words. But Hank recently passed, and obviously that was just really heartfelt to hear from the owner and his stories of hiking with this dog, and the Alabama Triple Crown, and how, that dog actually earned the medal. That was the very first dog to ever do the Alabama Triple Crown. So that was a very, very heart-touching story there. So again, my favorite, look at that. The man, the myth, the legend, the second one, not the graybeard, but this is Leonidas. He's got kind of a graybeard, but he's got some room to grow. But this guy, I tell you, he's elusive. He hikes so fast that he could actually end up being your shuttle driver. You know why? Do you know why? Because if you hike with him, you'll be at the same point. You pull up, like, okay, we're at the trailhead. He'll go and finish the trail, come back, pass you, get in the car, and then drive to the end point and pick you up. So that's why Leonidas is great to hike with, but also a little bit intimidating, because he's going to do it twice and pick you up.
That's right. He's really intimidating because on most of his hikes, he finishes before he starts.
Big Stu also. It was good to see Stuart.
Exactly. Stuart from Mississippi, thank you for joining us. So again, there are lots of vendors spread out through the entire event. Great music, great speakers. It was just a nice time to get everyone together. There's J-Ben. So J-Ben
J-Ben.
was actually helping to promote the trail maintenance by selling the Pinhoti Forever stickers. There was a lot of people that came by and contributed to that. I believe he was doing some sort of match on that, so we were able to raise some money for the trail maintainers. Also, Ricky Cranford, we were trying to raise money for him with a GoFundMe because his new car that he had purchased with a credit card while his truck was in the shop, while he was using that car for shuttling, that car broke down. So you talk about, wow, that's just, so there was Kim and Nathan put together a GoFundMe for Ricky Cranford to raise some money to help him get out of that. And I believe they did pretty well with that initiative. That was really cool. But again, J-Ben was helping to raise money by selling the Pinhoti Forever stickers to help to go to trail maintenance. That was really cool.
If you don't follow Ricky Cranford on Facebook, you should follow him because he's always updating what sections he cleared, and he's out there all the time. So if you see Ricky, thank him for all the work he does on the Pinhoti.
Yeah, and he'll go and weedy 2 or 3 miles a day. It's crazy what he does.
So speaking
Who's
of
that
Ricky
guy?
Cranford, though, remember the story of what he did for us while we were out
Oh, yeah.
hiking between Pinky Burns and Cave Springs. He actually helped us once a couple of cars got broken into at Pinky Burns, helped us get picked up off of trail. And had he not done that, we would have had another, 18 miles to hike that day? It would have been pretty intense.
Yeah, that would have been a very long day.
So.
Okay, I don't think that's a hiking video we have on the TV back there.
No, it wasn't. You want to talk about that too? Because I think we had a bigger crowd when you brought that out than the entire time when we were talking about the giveaways. You want to go ahead and kick that out there?
Well, yeah, my idea was to, when people come up and ask about the Alabama Triple Crown, we tell them about it. But if they have a visual, what they can look at, they can look at the Sipsey. They can look at climbing up Talladega Mountain. It just adds that whole new perspective to it. So that was my idea, kind of to put the monitor out there and play some of our Triple Crown videos. And after a while, I mean, that got a pretty good response. But after a while, of course, Alabama and Auburn were both playing. So people were like, hey, can you put the game on? It turned into a football watching party, I guess.
Right.
But you had the best generator too. So 1, you had the idea to bring the TV out there. 2, you had the idea to obviously showcase the Alabama Triple Crown. But 3, you had the idea to run the game, and everybody won. I mean, it was just like, hey, hiking, the game, can't beat it, right?
It's a good deal.
Let's get the death stare there from Squidly.
Yeah, I was going to say that face right there is about to break my screen.
Scotty Wonders, right? Pinhoti Mafia. So I was flying the drone around, getting some good shots. I think this was the Whistlebees too, right there.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not sure, but I think they were really
great. Oh, who's that? As a Crow Flies Hiking.
Speaking of, for those that are looking for Crow, Crow had a last-minute emergency. In fact, Hobo Joe was looking for Backpacker Bob, but I think that Crow actually had to cancel on tonight's meeting because he actually had to go pick Backpacker Bob up. So maybe we will find out sooner than later exactly where he's at. But here's some of the signatures. This whole card here, this Pinhoti Fest backboard, I didn't get to sign 2022. I actually forgot to do it. And it's up in the Pinhoti Outdoor Center. I tried to get up there when we did the Alabama Triple Crown, but it was out of reach. But now I'm on the board. Metro on the move there. But lots of people signed the board for this year's event. That was nice to see.
Oh, yeah. Let me talk about the Bear Vault people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you were about to say this or not, but the Bear Vault vendor had one of their bear cans that had been actually attacked by a black bear, and the attempt is that one on the left, and had food in it. The bear tried to get in and failed, and he said that the bear spent 2 or 3 hours trying to get in and never could get in. And that bear, you can't see it in this picture, but that bear can had all kinds of tooth and claw marks all over it where that bear was trying to get in and failed. And the guy, it's in my video about Pinhoti Fest, and he kind of described what happened. It's a great testimonial to Bear Vault, keeping bears out of your bear can.
Hey, if I get attacked by a bear, I'm sacrificing my food.
Yeah, for sure.
myself.
You can have it. You can have it. You can have it.
Well, let's hope the bear wasn't trying to get into the Bear Vault while the Bear Vault was in the tent.
So I'm a bear bag kind of guy. I do like the bear vaults when it is required, but those things are heavy, you know. So
Yeah, that's right.
I could
you're
have
gonna get a bear
vault.
bag though. Again, just like you can get custom gear at Hilltop Packs for like this custom ground sheet. If you're looking for a bear bag, make sure you check out Hilltop Packs. They have an excellent line of custom gear, including bear bags. They can do whatever design you want on it. You can even put my logo on it. I don't think you can do whatever you want, but anyway, you can customize the gear as you see fit.
And hopefully Ben and Hilltop Packs will be at Pinhoti Fest next year. We're kind of keeping
That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to plug them to be there. So we had a lot of giveaways. Again, lots of vendors that were contributing throughout the entire event. But obviously we want to see Hilltop Packs there maybe next year. But Get Out Gear, they actually contributed a couple blankets. We'll get into that in a second. In fact, I just want to give a shout out to John at Get Out Gear. Thank you so much for sending a couple blankets for us to give away at the event. With hiking season just around the corner, right? I have actually been using the Get Out Gear blankets. I actually used it at Tent City. In fact, there's the box that I got 2 blankets from John over there at Get Out Gear. But yeah, it's a great lightweight blanket. If you haven't tried it out, low cost. They have down and synthetic, but it's a perfect lightweight option, especially in between seasons as we're getting into hike, because it is hiking season, right, Squidly?
That's right. Hiking season in the Deep South starts in the fall.
So can you give us a couple other pro tips, since I believe I saw your video first around hiking season, which kind of broke the internet. People were like losing their, oh no, I didn't say anytime is hiking season.
Well, you can say that all you want, but in the Deep South, it is hot and it is humid and it is miserable if you try to go in July and August. I've gone before into mid-June. If you get some temperatures that are favorable, that's okay. And I've gone starting in September, depending on when the temperature breaks. But it's so hot, humid, buggy, ticks, mosquitoes. No, thank you. I will just wait for some cooler weather.
Well, it was cool at the event. Again, September is a good time in Silicaca.
It is. It's a great time to get started.
But to Senior's point, he was talking about Tent City, right? There's some moisture right there that was on the tent. He's all like, oh my gosh. There is. I do have a couple snapshots of what that looks like. It wasn't that bad, but it did have a little bit. But cooler temperatures versus warmer temperatures, I'll take this all day long. So a little condensation, who cares? Come on, Senior.
Yeah, we had excellent weather for Pinhoti Fest 2 years in a row. 2 years.
That's right.
2 years in a row.
Right.
Blue skies.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool
Warm
temperatures.
days, cool nights.
Yeah. But again, look at Tent City. Look how nice that was. Look at the sky. There was a lot of people parked out there having a good time. So after they caught night 1, camped out, and in the morning, we got Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A was free. The first 250 people at the event. I think there's their little banner there, right? Everybody started lining up, and over to the right there, it's Cup of Grace. They were serving up hot coffee, or I think they had iced coffee too, right? For those iced coffee drinkers. I'm drinking some iced coffee right now too.
Uh-huh.
Too late for coffee.
Hey, look, Cody wanders. But so there's the Sawyer Station. Again, had plenty of water. So Senior was just wanting cold water. And again, free breakfast
I tried the water. It came out the hose, and it tastes like hose. Nobody could drink it.
Well, when I grew up, that's how you drank the water. I mean, I'm a Gen Xer, you know?
We did too. We drank it out the hose too.
Hey, Senior Hiker, there was a convenience store right across the street.
Yeah. I'm just bitching. Come on.
Jason Douglas said he wanted to give a shout out to Cup of Grace for bringing the coffee. Again, could you imagine? People would have lost their minds if we didn't have coffee. But all these were happy campers. Not only did they have fresh coffee, but they also had Chick-fil-A biscuits first thing in the morning. And look, see, Nathan said right there, yes, we'll fix that hose taste next year.
Just for senior hiker.
See, in fact, they'll have an electrolyte pump that goes into it, so you have like different flavored water.
Yeah, okay. That
And maybe
sounds
even
good.
carbonate it for you as well. I mean, this is hiking. You're supposed to be like, roughing. I mean, could you imagine seeing Senior on the CDT? Like with the little horse troughs that are out there, or the cow basins or whatever.
The cow
Oh my
pond.
gosh.
I tell you what, though, if Cup of Grace had not been there,
Yeah.
Squidly would have been making a run across the street to Jack's to go get some coffee.
Well, I'm glad Cup of Grace was there. In fact, I got a chance to see their store in town because you know what? Before we get to this, I want to tell a funny story because this one is one for the books, right? So I did get to see Cup of Grace's downtown store because I walked across town and there's somebody right there. I'll talk about
Hey.
So at the end of night 2, Saturday night, I was like, hey guys, you want to get something to eat? Because I'm going to go to Pizza and Pints. I was like, hey, Terry.
Hey.
You want to go with us? And it was like, no, I'm going to sit here and see Graybeard. I was like, no, we'll be back in time. We're just going to walk across town and, get some food. You don't want to go? He said, nah, I'm just going to hang out. I'm just going to hang out. I was like, okay. So we go down to Pizza and Pints and we're sitting there and we're ordering our pizza. And I get a text from Terry. He's all like, hey, you want to pick me up a pizza? I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, but I had to walk it back across town. Like I've always wanted to be a pizza boy, but I got that first taste of what being a pizza boy would be like. Cause literally we walked, I don't know if you knew how far it was, Terry, but it was so far. Like, it was not like, I thought it was going to be like, oh, hop across the street, 1, 2, 3. No, man, it was all the way down at the end. I mean, it felt like it kept getting longer by the time I got there. It just felt like it kept on. So on the way back, we're hanging this pizza. It was going from me, atypical hiker, the senior hiker, back to me. Because it's just trying to like, oh gosh. And people were like honking at us like, losers. I'm like, no, we're
DoorDash.
the pizza back to Terry Young, So in case you didn't know this, DoorDash is real in Sylacauga. And this guy right here just did this for Terry Young. I thought it was
Hey. And I really appreciate it. But I will say this. I seriously thought you guys took a vehicle. I didn't know you walked.
Okay, so that makes it a little bit better because I was just like, how in the world can this guy like I wouldn't
ask you to do that.
Asking if he wants to join us. And next thing you know, there's the sign that Hobo Joe put out. But I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Anyway, because I was like, I gotta walk it back. Are you kidding me? But I wanted you to have food, so
I know.
I
care
very
much appreciate it.
I care about you. You're in the Pinhoti Mafia now. Anyway, so as you can see here, Hobo Joe put out some Have You Seen Me? I think he actually had a reward out there for Backpacker Bob, but he put down the number 8675309.
So that's Hobo Joe's number? Yeah.
I guess so. But the funny part was I actually had a few people ask me what the area code was.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, well, I guess it is time for us to realize we're getting a little bit older. 8675309. There you go. Who's that guy? Oh, so at the event, I was asked to be an MC to help out, and we did a giveaway, and one of the winners ended up being Odie's wife, Lemongrass. Did you guys hear about this?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys know the story about J-Ben and Odie? This is a great story.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for the perfect moment to tell the story. So as you see here, Lemongrass won. She was number 1. She won this and she was excited. So she won something and she goes back. J-Ben caught this and Odie, as you see here, got to wear this hat because he won something finally. Now let's tie it back to where I'm going with this. At the AT kickoff, it was 2020, right? There was a giveaway for a Yeti, and Odie went around and grabbed like everybody's tickets because he was like, "Hey, if you're not going to donate your ticket, please." And he was living in that fuss at the time, right? So it was like, "Oh, it makes sense. You need a Yeti, right?" So everyone was giving out their tickets. Well, at the time, I had not met J-Ben yet, and I didn't know who this person was, but I saw a couple that was there at this event, and the lady won the event when they called out the number from the raffle. So Odie's like, oh, he had all these tickets laid out. They kept on calling numbers. He didn't win. But then the girl that won, I was like, man, why did she just give it to Odie? Why doesn't she give it to Odie? So needless to say, a year later, I'm hanging out with As the Crow Flies hiking. And he's telling me, yeah, you know, after we get done doing the PMT, you should go hang out with the Pinhoti Mafia. And I'm already like, who is the Pinhoti Mafia? And he's like, yeah, J-Bin's in there and Leonidas. So I go look at their YouTube channel. I'm like, oh, who's this guy? Who's this guy? J-Bin. I was like, wait a minute. That guy looks like the guy that was with that girl that won the Yeti and didn't give it to Odie. And I was like, oh my goodness, right? So even on the way down, I remember his wife going like, hey, yeah, this is for me. You know, I never won anything. This is mine, you know? And Odie's like, okay, I get it. But it was funny because now 3 years later, we run into Odie again at Pinhoti Fest, and now J-Bin's interviewing Odie after his wife just won this hat. I thought this was hilarious because it's now full circle. Not only is Odie winning things, but then J-Bin is just it's awesome. It's just interviewing. So anyway, Odie was there. In case you don't know that, he used to do the hiker yearbook on the AT. He just got done, if he hasn't already completed it, the entire Pinhoti Trail. He was out there with Lemongrass doing a through hike. So that's really cool that he won this hat. As you can see, he's stoked there. This is Fireball hanging out with the new Get Out Gear trekking pole chair.
Sun's out, guns out.
Sun's out, guns out. He was relaxed as can be. And as you can see, again, Get Out Gear has given us a couple items to give away. This new mega puffy blanket. It's awesome. Like seriously, guys, like I'm like in between my 30-degree Enigma that I normally use from Enlightened Equipment. I love the Get Out Gear mega puffy blanket because it's just enough loft and it's just enough warmth for these nights going into like the high 40s, the 50s, 60s. It's a perfect blanket for that. But anyway, Get Out Gear had sent out some items, and Fireball said he loved this trekking pole chair. I mean, in fact, I think he said he's going to get one. As you can see, nothing but smiles there. So again, a little plug there as well. So we had done a giveaway. In fact, we'll get to some of the winners there, but as you can see, Sky and a few others, I believe Michael Copper there had actually won one of these blankets. Yeah. But we had a lot of great people stopping by, signing up for the giveaways. Again, Pinhoti Fest, it was full of giveaways. All you had to do was sign up at the front, got a number, and throughout the entire event, they were giving out giveaways. So for next year, if you guys are saying, hey, should I go to Pinhoti Fest? You have to. Because, I mean, it just felt like every other hour, or every hour, I should say, they were pretty much giving out something for free, just basically for signing up, just for walking up and getting registered. Also, Tent City, free. So for those that are thinking about going back next year, it's pretty much a no-brainer. You get to see great gear. You get to see great speakers, obviously hear some great music. Got to see some tents. As you can see, in fact, one of the new vendors that we really liked was the Nashville pack. I believe Leonidas was really interested in super ultralight backpack maker. In fact, I think it's all custom. They didn't have anything for sale there. You had to order it. But these new backpacks caught As the Crow Flies hiking's eye, as well as Leonidas. And if you guys don't know, Leonidas, again, is super fast on trail because he likes to go super light. So that was a backpack company we listened to for a little bit, talking about some of the new items that they had coming up release for this year. Yeah, so I got reminded at the giveaway. Here we go. It's Cooper. It's Cooper, not Copper. It's Cooper. I got corrected. We had to go through a couple names because, in fact, there was.
I wasn't gonna. When you said it, I wasn't gonna correct you. I was gonna let that go.
Wow.
Maybe that'll be his new trail name.
Copper.
Yeah, his new trail name is Copper.
So again, lots of giveaways, good food, good music. What do you guys? What would you say was your key takeaway from this event? Each one of you guys, like, what was your key moment? The thing that you're going to remember the most for from this last event. What was one of the key moments for you guys?
The pizza.
For me, it was meeting Gray Bear.
I love it. Graybeard. I heard Graybeard.
For me, it was meeting Graybeard. Mm-hmm.
Hobo Joe and the pro tips.
That guy just, it was funny because he kept on giving out all these pro tips, but nobody wants to talk to that guy. Like nobody even wants to hear it. So he's walking around and nobody's paying any attention to him. And he's giving out all this information and nobody wanted to talk to him.
But he wasn't there the second day, Saturday. I didn't see him.
No, he was there.
Oh yeah, he was there.
Oh yeah,
Really?
for sure.
Because I was only there Saturday and I saw him.
Oh, okay.
Can I say my favorite part? I love the vendors. The food was incredible. The music was awesome. But my favorite part was just getting to talk to everybody, talk to all these hikers, all these people with shared interests. They all love the Pinhoti Trail. And it's just great to get to talk to everybody. So that was probably my highlight of the weekend. And I want to say another thing real quick. The city of Sylacauga has been incredible with the whole Pinhoti Fest thing. They're on board with it 100%. Ken was telling me that some of the local restaurants have, they give discounts if you have your bracelet on. Of course, people need to register first when you get to Pinhoti Fest. Register, but if you have your bracelet on, they'll give you a discount on food, stuff like that. So it's the whole area just has bought in on Pinhoti Fest, and it's incredible.
Well, like if we had driven to Pizza Empire, we would have been able to use that discount, but we were so out of breath by the time we got there, we forgot, so yeah, great point there. That pizza is amazing. It makes you forget things, especially, what, speaking about how nice Sylacauga was, I actually got to see how nice it was up close because I passed by both sides of it and all the buildings and all the architecture. I love Sylacauga. I got to see it in depth. So next time, Terry, if you want more information on what Sylacauga, I can actually be your guide and show you around.
Chamber of Commerce. I got to plug the Chamber of Commerce too, because they've done an awesome job, especially with the Pinhoti hiker tags.
Oh yeah, that was so cool. Yeah, the Chamber of Commerce. That was so for everyone's watching this live stream. Next year when you go, even if you're doing a section or a through hike of the Pinhoti Trail, Sylacauga, the Chamber of Commerce, they said if you sign up, they'll give you a hiker tag, but it's an emergency tag. So if your bag is lost or whatever happens to you, hopefully nothing detrimental, they'll be able to look up the tag based on your number for emergency numbers. So there you go. Well, now we know Terry Young's number, so we can actually prank call him. I can't do a blur. I'm sorry about that, Terry. So you put it out there, my friend. You put it out there. But anyway, so they give a tag out. I thought that was really cool. So thank you to Sylacauga and obviously the town for letting everyone be there. That was just a nice down home, like awesome event for everyone to be there to talk to everyone and just have a good time and obviously see all these wonderful things happening, celebrating the Pinhoti Trail. So thank you to Sylacauga for letting us have that. Oh,
and one more shout out for the food truck. And I can't remember the name of it. It was a barbecue food truck. And the food was just crazy good, just ridiculously good. But you had to wait for it because they were doing barbecue and making it to order. So, so there was a little bit of a wait for it. But man, once you had it, it was so good. Wish I could remember the name of it.
There's Hobo Joe right there. That was it right there.
Pro tip.
So nobody wants to talk to us. Hopefully he finds Backpacker Bob in the near future because I want to see those two get together. I think they have a lot to talk about. There's going to be a lot of good tips sharing, especially if Backpacker Bob's on the run. Hobo Joe lives in the city, so he can tell him about, under the bridge shelters, made of concrete versus wood, it's just as good, right?
He looks a little bit like Captain Caveman too. I'm dating myself bad with Captain Caveman thing.
Yeah, you are. You're a lot older than me.
So again, thank you to Get Out Gear. Again, if you're looking for a nice ultralight blanket, definitely check them out. Hilltop Packs, again, for sponsoring this wonderful footprint behind me. I just love it so much. I keep talking about it in all my videos, but hopefully Ben McMillan's watching this. I call it the Hobo, and the reason why I call it the Hobo, you guys want to know this? Out of curiosity?
Yeah.
There's 4 holes in the corners. This is where I customized this idea. In fact, I got the idea originally, giving credit due where credit is due, from Senior Hiker 77. He had a bigger one. Go figure. His is a lot bigger. He had a ground sheet that he likes to use, but mine's a lot smaller because I don't have as much junk to deal with. I guess you could put it that way. So mine's a little condensed. But the holes that go in the corner, and the reason why I call it a hobo is because if you take a carabiner, you can grab all four corners and pick up your sheet and move from one spot to the next without losing all your items. It kind of encompasses it in one little package. You know, like if you threw it over a stick, like a hobo would, i.e. the hobo.
Yeah.
Makes sense yet? Okay. And also the holes make it easy for you to hang out at camp. Like if you wanted a camp flag or whatever, I thought it was cool to have it so you can stretch it out, especially if you want to say whose camp this is. That's what that's all about. But Hilltop Packs, thank you for that. Other people we want to say thank you to was the Pinhoti Outdoor Center, obviously for putting on this event, pinhotiexperience.org. If you're looking for more information, again, hikersofamerica.com is a great resource that is available online that not only talks about Pinhoti Fest, the Alabama Triple Crown, all of that information is there. But again, it's a great resource to find out more information about upcoming hikers. We do Hikers of the Month, featured videos, all of that great stuff. So check out hikersofamerica.com if you're looking for more information on Pinhoti Fest, Pinhoti Outdoor Center. And again, if you're looking for more information on Pinhoti Fest, make sure you go to pinhotiexperience.org as it has, or I believe it's make sure I say this right, pinhotiexperience.org, where you can find out about all the vendors that were there, all the musicians that were there, and obviously stay in touch for next year's event. Guys, do you want to say anything before we get off here on today's episode of Pinhoti Fest 2023?
Just looking forward to next year. I'm looking for the third iteration of this. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to give a special. I know we've already mentioned Nathan and Kim Wright, but can't thank them enough. I mean, I know there's a lot of stress putting something like this on, but man, they just knocked it out of the park again. I know they're excited about next year because they were talking about next year already, and they're already in the planning phases. But big thanks to Kim and Nathan Wright and the Pinhoti Outdoor Center. Hey, one more thing. Big thanks to Metro for hooking us up with these notebooks, on-trail notebooks, and Hiker Stink stickers. He gave these to the Pinhoti Mafia guys. So big thanks for that, Metro.
My pleasure, guys. My pleasure, guys. We have lots of stickers too. So if you guys are interested in getting some Pinhoti Mafia stickers, you can reach out to us, hit us up on the gram, or obviously drop some comments down below, and I'll figure out a way to reach out to you in terms of how to get those stickers to you. Thank you so much to everyone that has watched today's episode. We appreciate you guys. Stay on the line. I want to talk to you in the green room, but thank you, everyone. It's been a great time. I'll see you next year at 2024's Pinhoti Fest.